Hi everyone! Kumusta kayo? Jan Angelo here and mag-uusap na naman tayo about skincare, and skincare. So up until today, malaking problema pa rin talaga sa community natin yung mga tiny bumps, also known as blackheads, whiteheads, or comedones sa face. Marami na sa ating nagtatry ng iba't ibang mga products, may complete skincare pa nga yung mga iba, pero pabalik-balik lang talaga yung tiny bumps sa face ng iba sa atin. So in this video, itotodo na natin guys, I've gathered information from several dermatologists kung paano mapawala yung mga tiny bumps, blackheads or whiteheads na to long term. And I will also be sharing my own personal experience as someone na nagkaroon din ng mga tiny bumps pero hindi na siya malaking problem sa akin ngayon. Now, one of the biggest reasons kung bakit hindi nakakakita ng results yung ibang may mga tiny bumps, blackheads or whiteheads is because kapag nanonood sila ng content about this, nanonotice ko na sumusunod lang sila sa isa or dalawang pieces of advice or information about this topic. Pero hindi nila pinapakinggan or nire-research yung buong information. Kaya yung effect is, hindi rin nila nakukuha yung buo or yung full na results on their skin. So, para gumana yung guide and yung mga information na nasa video na to for you, I need you guys na makinig from start to finish so that hindi nyo ma-miss out yung mga very important details and para maging long-term din yung results ninyo. So, that being said, wala nang any, let us begin. Now, one of the most common things na maririnig ninyo or baka nasabi nyo na nga about mga tiny bumps is, hindi naman ako ma-pimple. Meron lang akong iilang mga tiny bumps sa face. And then, a few weeks or even a few days later, in that same area sa face nila na sinabi nila puro tiny bumps lang, nagkaroon sila doon mismo ng mga red na galit na pimples. Taas kamay ang nakapag-experience na nito. Now, the reason for this is because, according to dermatologists, yung mga whiteheads, blackheads, or yung mga tiny bumps, what causes them is yung excess oil and yung dead skin cells na hindi na shed off ng mabuti ng skin natin. At dahil doon, nagka-clog yung pores natin. And alam nyo ba yung isa pang skin condition na nagsisimula rin sa excess oil and dead skin cells, those would be your red, angry pimples na sinabi nyo dati, wala kayo. Ang kinaibahan lang nila is, yung blackheads and whiteheads, hindi pa sila na-i-infect ng bacteria at namumula. In fact, pakinggan nyo itong sinabi ng isang board-certified dermatologist when I did ask them about yung mga tiny bumps, blackheads, and whiteheads.
Beware, yung mga whiteheads, blackheads na yan, silent volcano sila. Because after comedones, minsan yun yung potential mag-pus at minsan sila rin yung potential mag-cystic if you have a really strong family history of acne.
So as you just heard kay Doc, yung mga blackheads, whiteheads, mga tiny bumps sa skin natin, these are actually considered as acne already. In fact, ang tawag nga sa kanya ng mga dermatologists is comedonal acne. Coming from the word comedones, which is yung term nila for mga blackheads and whiteheads. It means you already do have acne na kailangan ng gamutin. Keyword is gamutin. And yes, kahit hindi pa namumula yung mga tiny bumps ninyo or hindi pa sila nagiging pimples, actually now is the best time to take action para hindi na sila mamula at mag-worsen pa. Now, you might hear from other skincare creators, lalo na yung mga nakatira abroad, na kaya nilang mapawala yung mga ganitong tiny bumps with just over-the-counter skincare products. But do remember guys na number one, nakatira sila sa ibang bansa na magkaiba sa climate ng Pilipinas. Yung iba sa kanila, especially mga Western skincare creators, nakatira yan sa mga bansa na meron silang 4 seasons. So do take into consideration na meron silang mga seasons na lumalamig and meron din yung effect sa skin nila. Unlike sa atin sa Pilipinas, all year round kasi mainit sa atin and very humid or malagkit sa skin natin. Which is why, as much as possible, kung kaya talaga ng skin ng isang tao, nanonotice ko na when it comes to treatments, medyo mas nagiging aggressive talaga yung approach ng maraming mga dermatologists natin sa Pilipinas kahit na tiny bumps pa lang. Kasi given our weather and climate na mainit nga and malagkit, grabing taas din talaga ng chance na magkabutlig-butlig tayo at dumami sila, especially if nasa lahi nyo siya. And that's also another thing to take note of, yung lahi or yung genetics natin, as well as yung hormones natin na meron din kinalaman sa acne. In fact, malaki din ang kinalaman niya sa acne because sabi ng isang US board-certified dermatologist, Dr. Andrea Suarez, also known as Dr. Dre on YouTube, all acne is inherently hormonal. Na para mas simple and easy to understand, tatagalugin ko na lang yung sinabi ni Dr. Dre in one of her videos about blackheads, whiteheads, blackheads, and tiny bumps on the skin. Diba sabi natin, one of the main causes of tiny bumps and acne is excess oil sa skin natin? Well, ang isa sa mga main na nagdedetermine ng oil production natin sa katawan are yung hormones natin. And this is also why, especially sa mga babae na nanonood, yung mga breakouts, usually nakukuha nyo siya closer to your period. Whether cystic pa yan or kahit mga tiny bumps lang. But given this, baka itanong ninyo, anong chance natin na malabanan yung comedonal acne if mostly genetics and hormones naman yung nag-i-influence nito. So dito pumapasok yung mga specific products that you can apply on your skin para mapa-improve siya. Now some of these, I'm sure alam nyo na sila, pero again, the reason kung bakit hindi ito nag-work sa iba is because hindi nila pinapakinggan yung buong information about these products and ingredients. So again, I need you to pay attention properly. And checkpoint lang guys, if nag-skip ka to this part and hindi mo pa napapanood yung unang part ng video na to, stop ka muna, balik ka muna sa start kasi kailangan mo talagang mapakinggan yun. But anyway, moving forward, one of the most common over-the-counter ingredients and products that you will hear about when it comes to yung comedonal acne, mga blackheads and whiteheads is of course yung salicylic acid. Pero ang daming gumagamit nito without knowing all the information, kaya hindi rin siya gumagana for them. Now, when it comes to incorporating salicylic acid into your routine for tiny bumps, blackheads, or whiteheads, here are two things that you should know. Number one, you need to be using a product not just with salicylic acid, but with a significant amount of salicylic acid. Now, personally for me, kung kaya ng skin mo, 2% talaga dapat kung gusto mo maging aggressive. Because most studies na pinakitang effective ang salicylic acid, ito yung ginagamit na percentage. And mag-name drop na ako guys lalo na kung ginagamit nyo yung mga products like the COSRX AHA BHA toner or even yung mga face washes na merong salicylic acid pero wala namang nakalagay na percentage, masyadong magiging mahina yon if yung concern nyo is yung tiny bumps sa face. And it's most likely not going to do a lot for your acne. Now let me make myself clear, I'm not saying na bad products yung mga to. I'm just saying if yung concern mo is blackheads, whiteheads, yung mga tiny bumps, hindi siya strong enough para maging effective sa skin mo. So that's number one. But the second thing na kailangan ninyong i-take note of din is salicylic acid alone is usually not enough. And yes, kahit na 2% pa yung bilhin ninyo, usually hindi yan magiging enough if yung concern ninyo is yung tiny bumps or yung comedonal acne. Now again, you will see some skincare content abroad na ito lang yung ginamit nila and nag-work naman. But again, remember, iba yung weather natin sa Pilipinas versus abroad. Very mainit, very malagkit sa atin. So everyday talaga mas exposed tayo and mas prone tayo magka-tiny bumps sa face. And in fact, ang acne itself, whether red na pimples na yan or yung mga tiny bumps pa lang, kapag nag-consult ka with a dermatologist, almost always, hindi ka nila bibigyan ng isang gamot lang. Kasi nga ang acne, maraming factors na nag-cause niyan. And iba-ibang products ang nagtatakal nun. And so, dito na pumapasok yung other products natin which are our acne medications. Na maraming iba't ibang types of acne medications pero yung usual na pinaprescribe talaga ng mga dermatologists na gold standard talaga for yung mga tiny bumps on our skin will be our prescription retinoids. Ito yung mga medications like tretinoin or adapalene na pinapahid on our skin or even yung mga medications na iniinom na natin. So for more severe cases, sometimes dermatologists give yung oral na retinoids also known as isotretinoin or brand name Acne-Trex. And yun, medyo pag mas severe na talaga yung case mo, yun yung binibigay ng dermatologist. And the reason why these help, very simply explained, is kasi tinutulungan niyang i-regulate yung pag-shed ng skin cells natin para hindi na sila nagka-clog sa pores natin. Aside from that, nire-regulate din nila yung oil production ng skin natin, which is again, another very big factor sa pag-form ng mga tiny bumps, blackheads, and whiteheads. Na speaking of actives, warning lang guys because you will see other people recommending sa social media just plain over-the-counter retinol for yung mga tiny bumps or even for mild acne. And again guys, for most of us Filipinos na very oily, very intense talaga yung pagiging predisposed natin sa acne because mainit and malagkit dito sa bansa natin, most of the time, masyado talagang mahina ang retinol. Even in my experience as someone na ang tagal ko talaga naging problema yung tiny bumps sa skin ko and trinay ko talaga iba't ibang ibang mga actives sa skincare ko, including retinol. Naging masyadong mahina talaga yung retinol for me. It did not give me so much results compared to yung mga acne medications na binigay ng derma sa akin. And even sa mga Filipino dermatologists na tinanong ko about yung mga tiny bumps talaga, and ano bang pwedeng maging effect if gumamit ako ng retinol for them, laging-lagi talaga nila sinasabi, guys, masyadong mabagal and masyadong mahina ang retinol compared to the other available options. So, syempre, kukunin mo yung mas magiging effective talaga, diba? Now, don't get me wrong, guys, ha? Hindi ko sinasabing masama or useless ang retinol as an ingredient. Again, it has a lot of research and it's an amazing and powerful ingredient for the skin, but mostly, ang main target niya is more on the signs of aging. But if you want to target yung acne or yung tiny bumps, you need to go for the stronger version of retinol, which is yung mga prescription retinoids natin like tretinoin, adapalene, or even yung oral acne medications natin na retinoids din like isotretinoin. Kasi mga to, guys, meron silang more than a decade, meaning more than 10 years of evidence na effective sila, not just for acne but also yung tiny bumps na problema talaga natin. So proven and best talaga sila for this. Now when it comes to these actives and acne medications, baka matanong nyo to. Kasi meron din kayong maririnig na iba na ginagamit nila yung mga ganitong mga retinoids, mga prescription acne medications, pero tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung acne nila. And this actually also happened to me. Pero meron siyang specific reason why. And again, this is because hindi pinakinggan ng iba yung buong information about this topic. So I need you guys to pay attention sa part na to kung feeling ninyo nagkaka-acne pa rin kayo even after using retinoids. So in my experience, dati gumamit ako ng tretinoin na 0.05% on my skin for almost 6 months. However, that was the time na sobrang lumala din talaga yung acne ko. As in, nagkamalaking pimples talaga ako sa face. So inisip ko, parang purge pa ba to? Or ano bang mali na ginagawa ko? Kasi after 6 months, nagbe-breakout pa rin yung skin ko. Akala ko ba yung tretinoin yung best sa acne? Bakit wala pa rin nangyayari sa skin ko? And worse, nagiging malala pa yung acne situation ko. So yung number one mistake ko when it comes to this is tretinoin lang yung ginamit ko sa routine ko, which I did mention a while ago. Hindi lang dapat isa ang gagamitin mong product for your acne, kahit na tiny bumps pa lang yan. Dapat talaga set siya of acne medications. But also, number two, nung nag-consult na ako sa dermatologist ko, sinasabi ko, Doc, hindi naman gumagana yung tretinoin sa akin. Sabi niya, it means hindi yan yung tamang percentage for you para matreat mo yung acne mo. Yung mga acne medications kasi na to, guys, or yung mga prescription retinoids, meron silang iba't ibang mga percentage. And depending on your skin type or depending on yung skin response mo sa mga actives na to, merong specific percentage for you. And yung nangyari sa akin is, masyado palang mahina yung ginagamit kong percentage. Kasi ang tagal bago ako nag-consult sa derma ulit. And true enough, nung inayos ng dermatologist ko yung 2 mistakes na yon, number 1, nagdagdag kami ng more acne medications in my routine. And then number 2, tinaasan pa namin yung percentage nung tretinoin or yung prescription retinoids na ginagamit ko. In just 3 months, guys, grabe yung improvement ng skin ko. And then after 6 months, pa-clear na talaga siya. So ang point ko dito, guys, is kapag gumagamit ka ng mga ganitong actives or acne medications, sobrang importante talaga na meron kang supervision ng dermatologist. Kasi akala natin alam na natin kung anong gagawin because we know what ingredients to choose, we know what products to get, pero ang dami pa nating mga factors na hindi nakikita or nako-consider, which sa dermatologist, para sa kanila, alam na nila yun. So, if you have been trying yung mga prescription retinoids na to and hindi siya nagiging effective or wala ka nakikitang masyadong positive na response sa skin mo after just 1 or 2 months, that means it's time na bumalik or mag-visit na ulit kayo sa dermatologist ninyo. Kasi that means na baka meron na kayong kailangang i-edit sa anti-acne routine ninyo. And marami kasing iba't ibang mga factors na pwede mong i-edit talaga sa isang anti-acne routine. Not just the products themselves, but also yung percentage ng product, yung dosage mo ng product from 3 times a week, iaakit mo ba to 4 times a week. So, marami siyang iba't iba, pero para less confusing para sa inyo, para hindi siya masyadong iniisip, do consult or go back to your dermatologist. And I know baka meron na namang magsabi na mahal or walang derma sa area nila. Again, meron akong information on how to consult for free and online with board-certified dermatologists, and all that information is going to be in the description box. So, libre na ang consultation fee and libre na rin yung pagbigay nila ng reseta sa kung anong specific na acne medications and kung anong specific percent yung dapat ninyong bilhin for your acne condition. Kailangan nyo na lang gawin is bilhin siya sa drugstore. And speaking of medications, we also do have another medication na usually binibigay din ng mga dermatologists na over-the-counter naman siya, so mas madali siyang kunin. And this is yung tinatawag nating benzoyl peroxide, which is another very active acne medication. Now again, very simply explained, ang main na ginagawa ng benzoyl peroxide is pinapatay niya yung acne bacteria na nagkukos ng acne sa skin natin para hindi sila kumalat at ma-infect yung mga clogged pores natin. Kasi kapag na-infect nila yung mga clogged pores natin, dun sila namumula and dun sila nagiging yung parang red na galit na pimple. But also for those na tiny bumps lang yung problema, may kita nyo sa label ng benzoyl peroxide, meron sa kanya nakalagay na word na keratolytic. Now that means na tinutulungan niya yung skin natin na i-shed off ng mabuti yung mga dead skin cells na nagfo-form para hindi niya nababarado yung pores natin. So yung mga retinoids natin kanina, yung mga tretinoin, mga adapalene, sila kasi nire-regulate nila yung pagpalit ng mga skin cells natin. Pero si benzoyl peroxide naman, tinutulungan niyang i-shed pa niya to ng mas efficiently kapag kailangan niya na tong itanggal sa skin natin. Kaya okay na okay talaga na ini-incorporate yung dalawa na to sa skincare routine natin. Usually, yung ginagawa ng dermatologists is magpe-prescribe sila ng benzoyl peroxide sa umaga and then tretinoin sa gabi. Kasi yung benzoyl peroxide and tretinoin, bawal silang i-layer sa isang routine. So, gagamitin mo sila pero hiwalay. Or may mga ibang derms naman ang ipe-prescribe nila instead is yung medication na Epiduo, which has both benzoyl peroxide and adapalene, na yung dalawa na yon pwede naman silang i-layer with each other. So, yung benefit nun is makuha mo na yung dalawang ingredients na yon in one product. And actually, mas yun yung usual na binibigay ng mga derms sa mga medyo mas maraming budget because parang hindi siya confusing eh. Like, isang product na lang ilalagay mo. Wala ka nang iisiping iba. Sunscreen na lang sa umaga, di ba? And also, speaking of layering, if you are worried na baka may ma-layer ka na hindi pwede with each other, I also did make a separate video on this. Updated guide siya on skincare actives that you can and cannot layer with each other. So if you do want to watch that, ililink ko siya dito sa I button. Now, aside from these three main ingredients, marami ring discussion on other ingredients that might be effective for mga comedones. A lot of people discuss both azelaic acid and glycolic acid when it comes to tiny bumps. And while meron naman silang positive effect for tiny bumps, hindi sila dapat yung priority mo if yung concern mo talaga is yung mga whiteheads, blackheads, or tiny bumps. Now, maraming reasons for this, but first, let's start with azelaic acid as an ingredient. Now, yes, meron siyang magandang effect on closed comedones talaga. A lot of dermatologists recommend it. However, when it comes to the studies on azelaic acid for acne, 15 to 20% lang ang naging effective for comedonal acne or yung acne na puro mga butlig-butlig, blackheads, and whiteheads. Meaning, yung mga nakikita mong products na merong azelaic acid and over-the-counter siya, like for example, The Ordinary, mga Cos de Baja, even Paula's Choice, usually 5 to 10% lang yung azelaic acid nun. And wala pang malakas na evidence na effective sila for tiny bumps on our face. Now again, hindi sila masamang products guys ha, hindi lang talaga sila magiging enough compared to yung mga azelaic acid na 15 to 20% na usually makuha mo lang by prescription. And bukod pa dun guys, yung 15 to 20% na azelaic acid kasi medyo mahirap pa siyang hagilapin dito sa Pilipinas kasi considered pa rin siya as prescription dito. Na if you want, merong konting loophole dito na pwede nyong gawin and ako personally ginagawa ko rin to. Kung may kakilala kayo na pupunta sa Australia, Europe, or New Zealand, yung azelaic acid 15 to 20% kasi over-the-counter siya doon. So, technically, pwede kayo magpasabay sa kanila. And again, pag meron akong mga friends na pumunta talaga ng Australia, nagpapabili ako sa kanila ng Asclear, which is yung 15 ata or 20% na azelaic acid siya. So, yun yung usual na ginagawa ko. But yes, guys, aware din ako sa mga ibang ways ninyo, specifically ng community natin, kung paano kayo humahagilap or kumukuha ng 15 to 20% na azelaic acid online. Ang masasabi ko lang talaga, guys, always buy any product that you buy online at your own discretion and risk. Yun lang yung masasabi ko. And also, sana na lang talaga gawing over-the-counter ng Pilipinas yung azelaic acid para mas madali na rin yung buhay nating lahat. But aside from the fact na mahirap din talagang kunin yung azelaic acid in general dito sa bansa, hindi rin kasi talaga siya considered ng mga dermatologists as a first-line treatment or yung gold standard talaga when it comes to yung tiny bumps. So usually, kapag ginagamit yung azelaic acid sa isang routine, ang ginagawa ng mga dermatologists is sinasabay lang nila to with other stronger acne medications, like for example, benzoyl peroxide or retinoids. Siguro the only time na dapat mong i-consider as a main active or as a superstar sa routine mo yung azelaic acid is if pregnant ka. Kasi mga pregnant guys, hindi sila ina-advise ng mga dermatologists na gumamit ng retinoids. Pinagbabawalan sila na gamitin to. So usually yung replacement nun is azelaic acid. But otherwise, kung hindi ka naman buntis, usually talaga guys, there are stronger and more gold standard treatments when it comes to yung tiny bumps sa skin. And on the side lang talaga si azelaic acid, if anything. Aside from azelaic acid, we also did mention glycolic acid, which technically, nakakatulong din siya in shedding our dead skin cells more effectively. However, ang glycolic acid kasi guys, sa surface or sa upper part lang siya ng skin natin nag-work. And gaya nga ng sabi ni Dr. Dre about glycolic acid, it's not going to be as effective as salicylic acid na hanggang sa loob-looban talaga ng pores mo pumapasok siya to target the excess oil. And it's also not going to be as effective as benzoyl peroxide na hine-help talaga tayong i-shed yung upper layers ng skin natin while at the same time eliminating yung acne bacteria. So, mas efficient lang talaga yung mga other ingredients versus glycolic acid. Kaya, mas nire-recommend yung mga ingredients na yun. Na again, hindi natin sinasabing masamang ingredients si glycolic acid, but when it comes to yung concern talaga na mga tiny bumps, blackheads, and whiteheads, hindi siya yung parang pinaka-efficient na ingredient, so hindi siya yung dapat na i-prioritize ninyo. And speaking of routine, baka curious na kayo kung paano gumawa ng routine based on all the information na pinag-usapan natin. So para hindi na kayo mahirapan, gumawa na ako ng sample routine for you, starting with our daytime routine for comedones. So start tayo with a 2% salicylic acid wash. Some good options from local brands are Klude's 2% salicylic acid cleanser or Sol Apothecary's Gentle Salicylic Acid Cleanser, which also has 2% salicylic acid. Both are good options. Choose Klude if you want gel type, pero if gusto mo foam na agad, okay din si Sol Apothecary. So leave this on your face for 60 seconds kung kaya ng skin ninyo, pero kung hindi kaya ng skin ninyo, kahit 30 seconds lang, and then wash it off. Next, you can use benzoyl peroxide. Again, over the counter lang to, very easy to get. And the one that I recommend the most is either the 5% or the 2.5% from Benzac. Usually available to sa mga drugstores like Mercury and Watsons. Another option na imported naman is this one from Neutrogena. It's their Stubborn Acne 2.5% micronized benzoyl peroxide, which is less irritating on the skin, pero medyo mas mahal siya. So it's really up to you which one you want to get depending on your budget. And last but not least, I would recommend putting on a lightweight hydrating sunscreen. My current top and favorite talaga is yung U Sunbrella Watery Sunscreen. But if you do need something more affordable and accessible, maganda rin tong si Biore and Lux Organics as watery gel sunscreens. And then during the nighttime cleanser lang ulit, you can use your salicylic acid face wash if kaya ng skin mo 2 times a day, if hindi naman siya mahapde for you. But if not, you can also use a gentle cleanser. Kayo nang bahala. Next, you then apply your retinoid, whether it's your tretinoin or adapalene na nakuha mo sa dermatologist mo. Personally, kami ng derm ko, we use tretinoin, but either way, make sure to do it evenly around your face, avoiding the under eye area. And then lastly, to avoid irritation from our acne medications, let's put on a very light gel cream moisturizer for oily skin. My personal preference is one with niacinamide. The most accessible ones in my opinion are itong kay Era, yung dalawang moisturizers nila that are very mattifying on the skin. This has 2 to 3% niacinamide and also a very powdery matte finish on the skin. But also, if you do want another affordable option na very comfortable lang din for oily skin, you can try this one by the brand Eden Skin. It's their Ride-a-Tide Healing Moisturizer, and this does also have 3% niacinamide. So most of you na siya guys, and ako personally, I had to wait around 3 to 6 months to see improvement, and very unti-unti talaga yung progress ko. It is also possible na in the first few weeks mag-breakout ka because gaya nga ng sabi ng dermatologists, nilalabas muna nila yung lahat ng breakouts mo na paparating before umoke yung skin mo. Again, this is called purging, which I do discuss in a separate video that I will link here. Pero guys, I do want you to take note if ginagamit nyo yung routine na to and nagba-breakout pa rin kayo after 1 to 2 months, then kailangan nyo nang bumalik sa dermatologist ninyo na nag-prescribe sa inyo ng gamot because it means kailangan ng mas lakasan pa yung gamot or yung combination ng gamot or other factors in your anti-acne routine. Kailangan nang i-edit yan to make it more suitable for your current acne situation and acne severity or kung gaano nakalala yung acne ninyo. And another reason why it's very important na mag-consult talaga guys is because in the first place, baka mamaya hindi lang pala comedonal acne yung problema ninyo. Kasi guys, yung tiny bumps, minsan maraming iba't ibang pwedeng mga skin conditions yan. Yes, pwede yung maging comedonal acne or yung blackheads and whiteheads, pero kunyari medyo mas malapit siya sa mata mo, that can be yung milia or yung mga small dots and iba na yun. Meron din yung usually tinatawag nating fungal acne but it's more known as malassezia folliculitis, which is actually hindi siya acne, yun lang talagang tawag ng tao sa kanya, but more of fungal infection na siya ng skin which is caused by the same fungus na nagkakos ng dandruff natin. And ibang treatment na yung kailangan doon. And what's more, dahil nga sobrang mainit and malagkit ang weather sa Pilipinas, you can even have 1 or 2 of these skin conditions na sabay nangyayari sa skin mo. Kaya talaga very important na ma-diagnose kayo ng mabuti ng dermatologist kasi sila lang talaga yung trained na makakita nito sa skin mo. Mahirap talaga siyang i-diagnose on your own. Even ako guys, nahihirapan akong tingnan kung ano ba yung condition ng skin ko, which is why pinapaubaya talaga natin yung mga ganito dapat sa mga dermatologists. Now, one last thing I also wanted to tackle sa guide na to is yung lifestyle natin. Now, just like everything sa health natin, yes, merong influence ang lifestyle natin sa acne in general. So, if hindi ka nakakuha ng 7 hours of sleep or if stress ka na talaga, and especially if smoker or nagve-vape ka, yes, nagko-contribute yan to your comedonal acne. Especially yung smoking and yung vaping, as mentioned by Dr. Dre sa video niya about closed comedones, isa yun sa mga malalaking factors talaga why you would get yung mga butlig-butlig or yung mga blackheads and whiteheads on your skin. Aside from that, we also do have yung nutrition or yung diet na side natin na yes, merong konting link to yung mga closed comedones or acne breakouts. So if mahilig ka kumain ng food na very, very high in sugar, it would be better to lessen it a little or have it in moderation only. Na-take note sa sinabi ko guys ha, na lessen or in moderation lang. Hindi mo siyang kailangang i-remove completely sa kinakain mo because guys, proven na rin to ng mga dietitians. Pag nag-eliminate ka ng isang food group sa kinakain mo, let's say tinanggal mo lahat ng carbs or ng sugar sa diet mo, number 1, you will only crave it more, especially if you enjoy eating these foods. And the next time na kinain mo siya, mag-overeat ka lang nito. And number 2, you will eventually build a bad relationship with food and pwede kang magka-eating disorder, which is actually something na muntik nang mangyari sa akin. And in general din kasi guys, when it comes to studies about food and acne, as mentioned by dermatologists, meron lang silang link, but it doesn't necessarily mean na kinokos niya yung acne. In fact, according to Dr. Dre, based dun sa video niya about closed comedones and also yung link ng food and acne, in her opinion, more studies need to be done. Kasi merong mga tao, nagbe-breakout sila, yes, from eating these foods, nagkaka-acne sila, pero meron ding tao na hindi sila nagbe-breakout sa mga food na to. And overall, hindi talaga reliable yung papalitan mo lang yung diet mo as the only solution to make your skin better. Kasi again, uulitin natin, hindi lang lifestyle ang factor sa acne, kung hindi yung genetics and hormones din natin talaga. And minsan, wala na tayong control doon. Which is why we also need to incorporate acne medications kapag tinatry nating isolve ito. So yes, you can improve your lifestyle if you want, but be very careful in not getting a food disorder or an eating disorder rather. And also, do remember na hindi lang yun yung solution. Kailangan mo siyang sabayan din ng gamot because acne, after all, is a medical condition which requires medical treatments. Alright, and if nakabutan niyo tong part ng video na to, congratulations because you have just fully informed yourself about comedones, comedonal acne, tiny bumps, blackheads, whiteheads, kung anong tawag niyo sa kanya. You are very empowered now with information. So if nagawa niyo to, you should be proud. Comment niyo sa baba na tinapos niyo tong video na to from start to finish para ma-inspire din yung iba to get the full information and empower themselves when it comes to this topic. So with that, I hope natulungan ko kayo with this guide. Good luck with your acne journey, and if you need more videos related to acne or oily skin, marami pa akong content about this. You can check them out here. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching this video and I will see you in the next one. Bye!